Our sixth Torah portion is titled Toldot, or Generations, dated November 30th, 2024. It's taken from Genesis chapter 25, verse 19 through chapter 28, verse 9. The Haftarah is taken from 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 18 through 42. The apostolic text is Matthew chapter 24, verses 29 through 36. Genesis 25, verses 19 through 34. And this is the genealogy of Yitzhak, Abraham's son. Abraham brought forth Yitzhak. And Yitzhak was 40 years old when he took Ribkah as wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban the Aramean. And Yitzhak prayed to Yehovah for his wife, because she was barren. And Yehovah answered his prayer, and Ribkah his wife conceived. And within her the children struggled together. And she said, If all is right, why am I this way? So she went to ask Yehovah. And Yehovah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples shall be separated from your body. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older serve the younger. And when the days were filled for her to give birth, and see, twins were in her womb, and the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. So they called his name Esau. And afterward his brother came out, with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. And Yitzhak was 60 years old when she bore them. As the boys grew up, and Esau became a man knowing how to hunt, a man of the field, while Jacob was a complete man, dwelling in tents. And Yitzhak loved Esau because he ate of his wild game, but Ribkah loved Jacob. And Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came into the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, Please feed me with that same red stew, for I am weary. That is why his name was called Edom. But Jacob said, Sell me your birthright today. And Esau said, Look, I am going to die, so why should I have birthright? Then Jacob said, Swear to me today. And he swore to him, and sold his birthright to Jacob. Jacob then gave Esau bread and stew of lentils, and he ate and drank, and rose up and left. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Genesis 26. And there was a scarcity of food in the land, besides the first scarcity of food which was in the days of Abraham. And Yitzhak went to Abimelech, sovereign of the Philistines, in Gerar. And Yehovah appeared to him and said, Do not go down to Mitzrayim. Live in the land which I command you. Sojourn in this land, and I shall be with you and bless you. For I give all these lands to you and your seed, and I shall establish the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. And I shall increase your seed like the stars of the heavens, and I shall give all these lands to your seed. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice, and guarded my charge, my commands, my laws, and my Torah. And Yitzhak dwelt in Gerar. And when the men of the place asked about his wife, he said, She is my sister. For he was afraid to say, She is my wife, thinking, lest the men of the place should kill me for Ribkah, because she is good-looking. And it came to be, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, sovereign of the Philistines, looked through a window and he watched and saw Yitzhak playing with Ribkah, his wife. So Abimelech called Yitzhak and said, "See, truly, she is your wife. So how could you say, she is my sister?" And Yitzhak said to him, "Because I said, lest I die on account of her." And Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people had almost lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." And Abimelech commanded all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall certainly be put to death." And Yitzhak sowed in that land, and reaped in the same year 100-fold. And Jehovah blessed him. And the man grew great, and went forward, until he became very great. And he came to have possessions of flocks, and possessions of herds, and a great body of servants. And the Philistines envied him. And the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and filled them with dirt. And Abimelech said to Yitzhak, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." So Yitzhak went from there, and pitched his tent in the Wadi Gerar, and dwelt there. And Yitzhak dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. And he called them by the names which his father had called them. But when Yitzhak's servants dug in the wadi and found a well of running water there, the herdsmen of Gerar strove with Yitzhak's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they dug another well, and they strove over that one too. And he called its name Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not strive over it. And he called its name Rehoboth. And he said, "For now Jehovah has made room for us, and we shall bear fruit in the land." And from there he went up to Beersheba. And Jehovah appeared to him the same night, and said, "I am the Elohim of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you, and shall bless you and increase your seed, for my servant Abraham's sake." And he built an altar there, and called on the name of Jehovah. And he pitched his tent there, and the servants of Yitzhak dug a well there. And Abimelech came to him from Gerar, with Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Pekol, the commander of his army. And Yitzhak said to them, "Why have you come to me, seeing you have hated me, and have sent me away from you?" But they said, "We have clearly seen that Jehovah is with you." And we said, "Please, let there be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you do no evil to us, as we have not touched you, and as we have done only good toward you, and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed by Jehovah." And he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. And they rose early in the morning, and swore an oath with one another. And Yitzhak let them go, and they departed from him in peace. And on the same day it came to be, that the servants of Yitzhak came and informed him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, "We have found water." So he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. And when Esau was 40 years old, he took his wives, Yehudith the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And they were a bitterness of spirit to Yitzhak and Ribkah. Genesis 27. And it came to be, when Yitzhak was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called Esau, his elder son, and said to him, "My son." And he answered him, "Here I am." And he said, "See now, I am old, and I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me. And make me a tasty dish, such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die." And Ribekah heard when Yitzhak spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt wild game and to bring it. And Ribekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, "See, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me wild game and make me a tasty dish to eat, and bless you in the presence of Jehovah before my death. And now, my son, listen to my voice according to what I command you. Please go to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, and I make a tasty dish from them for your father, such as he loves. And you shall take it to your father, and he shall eat it, so that he might bless you before his death." And Jacob said to Ribekah his mother, "See, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. What if my father touches me? Then I shall be like a deceiver in his eyes, and shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing." But his mother said to him, "Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, and go, get them for me." And he went and fetched them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made a tasty dish, such as his father loved. And Ribekah took the best garments of his older son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goats on his hands, and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the tasty dish and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And he went to his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" And Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you said to me. Please rise, sit, and eat of my wild game, so that your being might bless me." But Yitzhak said to his son, "How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son?" And he said, "Because Jehovah your Elohim brought it to me." Then Yitzhak said to Jacob, "Please come near, so that I feel you, my son, whether you truly are my son Esau or not." And Jacob went near to Yitzhak his father, and he felt him, and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy, like his brother Esau's hands, and he blessed him. And he said, "Are you truly my son Esau?" And he said, "I am." And he said, "Bring it near to me, and let me eat of my son's wild game, so that my being might bless you." So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Yitzhak said to him, "Please come near and kiss me, my son." And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his garments, and blessed him, and said, "See, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which Jehovah has blessed. And Elohim gave you of the dew of the heavens, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be those cursing you, and blessed be those blessing you." And it came to be, as soon as Yitzhak had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had hardly left the presence of Yitzhak his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he too had made a tasty dish, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, "Let my father rise and eat of his son's wild game, so that your being might bless me." Then his father Yitzhak said to him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am your son, your firstborn son, Esau." Then Yitzhak trembled exceedingly, and said, "Who was it then who hunted wild game and brought it to me? And I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him. yea, he is blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me, me too, O my father. And he said, Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing. And Esau said, Was his name then called Jacob? For he has caught me by the heel these 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he has taken my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Yitzhak answered and said to Esau, See, I have made him your master, and all his brothers I have given to him as servants, and I have sustained him with grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Yitzhak, his father, answered and said to him, See, your dwelling is of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. And by your sword you are to live, and serve your brother. And it shall be, when you grow restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father draw near. Then I am going to kill my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, her older son, were reported to Ribekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, See, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you, to kill you. And now, my son, listen to my voice, and rise, free to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days, until your brother's wrath turns away, until your brother's displeasure turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him, and I shall send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day? And Ribekah said to Yitzhak, I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me? Genesis 28, verses 1 through 9. And Yitzhak called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him and said to him, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And El Shaddai bless you, and make you bear fruit and increase you, and you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham, to you and your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojournings, which Elohim gave to Abraham. So Yitzhak sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram to Laban, son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Ribekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And Esau saw that Yitzhak had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take himself a wife from there. And that, as he blessed him, he gave him a command, saying, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and had gone to Padan Aram. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Yitzhak. And Esau went to Ishmael, and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife, besides the wives he had. 1 Samuel 20, verses 18 through 42. So Jehonathan said to him, Tomorrow is the new moon, and you shall be missed, because your seat shall be empty. And on the 3rd day, go down quickly, and you shall come to the place where you hid on the day of the deed, and shall remain by the stone Etzel. And let me shoot 3 arrows to the side of it, as though shooting at a target. And see, I shall send the youth, saying, Go find the arrows. If I expressly say to the youth, Look, the arrows are on this side of you, get them and come, then, as Jehovah lives, there is safety for you and no concern. But if I say thus to the youth, Look, the arrows are beyond you, go your way, for Jehovah has sent you away. And as for the word which you and I have spoken of, see, Jehovah is between you and me forever. As David hid in the field, and when the new moon came, the sovereign sat down by food to eat. And the sovereign sat on his seat, as at other times, on a seat by the wall, with Jehonathan standing, and Abner sitting by Shaul's side, but the place of David was empty. But Shaul spoke not a word that day, for he thought, It is an accident, he is not clean, for he has not been cleansed. And it came to be the next day, the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Shaul said to Jehonathan his son, Why has the son of Jeshai not come to eat, either yesterday or today? And Jehonathan answered Shaul, David earnestly asked my permission to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Please let me go, for our clan has a slaughtering in the city, and my brother has commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in your eyes, please let me get away and see my brothers. That is why he has not come to the sovereign's table. Then the displeasure of Shaul burned against Jehonathan, and he said to him, You son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do I not know that you have chosen the son of Jeshai to your own shame and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jeshai lives on the earth, you shall not be established, you and your reign. And now, send and bring him to me, for he is a son of death. And Jehonathan answered Shaul his father, and said to him, Why should he be put to death? What has he done? At that, Shaul hurled a spear at him to smite him. Then Jehonathan knew that his father had resolved to put David to death. And Jehonathan rose up from the table in the heat of displeasure, and ate no food the second day of the month. For he was grieved for David, because his father put him to shame. And it came to be in the morning that Jehonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a small youth was with him. And he said to the youth, Now run, find the arrows which I shoot. And the youth ran. He shot an arrow beyond him. And when the youth came to the place where the arrow was which Jehonathan had shot, Jehonathan called out after the youth and said, Is the arrow not beyond you? And Jehonathan shouted after his youth, Make haste, hurry, do not stand still. And Jehonathan's youth picked up the arrows and came to his master. But the youth knew not a speck. Only Jehonathan and David knew of the matter. Then Jehonathan gave his weapons to the youth and said, Go, take them to the city. As soon as the youth had gone, David rose up from the south side and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed down 3 times. And they kissed one another, and they wept together, but David more so. And Jehonathan said to David, Go in peace, since we have both sworn in the name of Jehovah, saying, Jehovah is between you and me, and between your seed and my seed forever. Then he arose and left, and Jehonathan went into the city. Matthew 24, verses 29 through 36. And immediately after the distress of those days, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light, and the stars shall fall from the heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Adam shall appear in the heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Adam coming on the clouds of the heaven with power and much esteem. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his chosen ones from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. And learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So you also, when you see all these, know that he is near at the doors. Truly, I say to you, this generation shall by no means pass away until all this takes place. The heaven and the earth shall pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away. But concerning that day and the hour, no one knows, not even the messengers of the heavens, but my Father only.